A well-fitting garment always starts with accurate body measurements. Because no matter how beautiful the design is, if the measurements are not taken correctly, the final fit may not turn out the way we expect. So before learning how to draft a basic bodice block, it's really important to understand how to take body measurements properly. Hi there. Warmly welcome to the Diviena Design Diary. I'm Madhu Vijakun from Sri Lanka, and I'm so happy to have you here. Through this channel, I hope to share my love for sewing, pattern making, and building garments beautifully from the very beginning. One thing I really wanted to emphasize through this channel is building everything correctly from the scratch, especially when it comes to the basic bodice block. So moving forward, I'll be sharing how to take body measurements correctly step by step, how to use those measurements to create a proper basic bodice block, and many more sewing-related tutorials as well. And to begin this series, in today's video, we're going to talk about 3 very important measurements: the bust circumference, waist circumference, and shoulder to waist measure. So let's get started. Now let's see how to take the bust measurement properly. The bust measurement is one of the most important measurements when we are drafting a basic bodice block, because this measurement helps us get the correct fit and overall shape of the garment. Okay, before taking the measurement, try to wear a well-fitted bra. That makes a big difference and helps us get a much more accurate measurement. Now, to take the bust measurement, place the measuring tape around the fullest part of the bust. Make sure the tape goes straight around the body horizontally and stays parallel to the floor all the way around. And one important thing, don't pull the tape too tight. If it's too tight, the garment can end up smaller and uncomfortable to wear. At the same time, don't keep it too loose either, because then the final fit may become too baggy. So the measuring tape should sit comfortably around the body, not too tight and not too loose. Also, try to stand naturally and relax your body while taking the measurement. Don't hold your breath or lift your shoulders, because even small things like that can change the measurement a little. Once you get the correct measurement, write it down immediately so you won't forget it later. Taking accurate measurements at the beginning makes the whole pattern drafting process much easier and helps create a better fitting garment in the end. Next, let's look at how to take another very important measurement, the waist measurement. Just like the bust measurement, this measurement is also very important when drafting a basic bodice block because it helps us get a better fit and shape around the waist area. As you can see from the mannequin shown here, the waist measurement should be taken around the natural waistline. This is usually the narrowest part of the waist area. Okay, sometimes it can be a little difficult to find the natural waistline correctly, especially for beginners. So an easy way to find it is to bend your body slightly to one side. The area where the body naturally folds is usually the natural waistline. As shown in the example, place the measuring tape around the waistline and make sure the tape stays straight and parallel to the floor all the way around the body. And just like we discussed when taking the bust measurement, the tape should sit comfortably around the body, not too tight and not too loose. Also, while taking the measurement, try to stand in a relaxed and natural position without holding your breath. All right then, once you've taken the waist measurement correctly, don't forget to write it down in your measurement chart before you forget it later. We've already talked about how to take 2 of the most important measurements needed for drafting a basic bodice block, the bust measurement and the waist measurement. Next, let's learn how to take another very important measurement, which is the shoulder to waist measurement. This measurement helps us identify the correct bodice length and also helps the waistline sit in the correct position when drafting the basic bodice block. Before taking this measurement, it's better to tie a ribbon or elastic gently around the natural waistline. That makes the waistline easier to identify and also helps us get more accurate front and back measurements. As shown in the example here, this measurement should be taken from the highest point near the neckline area of the shoulder down to the natural waistline. While taking this measurement, make sure the measuring tape follows the natural shape of the body instead of pulling it too straight away from the body. And just like with the previous measurements, try to stand naturally and relax your body while measuring to get a more accurate result. Okay, one thing beginners sometimes find difficult is identifying the correct shoulder point. One simple trick some people use is placing a pen or pencil vertically behind the ear. The point where the tip naturally touches near the shoulder area can help you roughly identify the shoulder point. But always make sure to check the natural shoulder point of the body as well, because that will help you get a more accurate measurement. Once you identify the correct shoulder point, place the measuring tape there and measure down to the natural waistline. And another important thing to remember is that this measurement should be taken separately for both the front and the back of the body, because the front body length and back body length are not always exactly the same for every person. That's why taking both measurements separately helps us create a much more balanced and better fitting basic bodice block. So after taking both the front and back shoulder to waist measurements correctly, make sure to keep them noted down. So in today's video, we discussed the 3 most important measurements needed to create a basic bodice block: bust circumference, waist circumference, and shoulder to waist. This is the true foundation of your pattern making journey. Always remember, without accurate measurements, you can't achieve a good fit. In the next video, we'll move on to part 2, upper body measurements. We'll go step by step through how to correctly take neck circumference, shoulder measurement, and armhole measurement. And in part 3, we'll focus on bust shaping measurements, including the highest bust point to bust point, and darts, which are very important for accurate fitting. So make sure you don't miss this series. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like it, subscribe to Diviena Design Diary, and press the bell icon. And also, leave your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your feedback. See you in the next video. Until then, keep practicing and stay creative.